I am Quinny, welcome to the channel guys. In this video today we're going to be doing our latest club profile and we're going back to the Bundesliga. Borussia Dortmund are shaping up to be winning the transfer window like everyone expects them to be, but I've got them down as being dark horses to go really far in the Bundesliga and maybe even in Europe this season. The new coach is kind of an old coach, he's coming back in, so we've got a full season almost of data to go back and look at this guy on and see how he did last time he was in charge and what lessons we can pull in from the signings that have been made thus far into the season coming. As we know, stacking up cards can be a powerful way to win an SO5, and Borussia Dortmund, as far as Champion Europe cards go, are quite slept on in that aspect of the game. So we'll be covering who the key players are going to be, who's going to be the main movers and shakers for the season coming up, as well as what spots we could be expecting for any future transfer activity over the remaining window. At any point in the video today, if you laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe, share and retweet, all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble and let's get stuck into it. If you could hit the subscribe button, I do daily global football content, everything from Wonder Kids and Rising Star Managers to fantasy football and watch-alongs. That will also automatically enter you into my April giveaway. This month I'm giving away a rare under-23 midfielder, Luciano Ferreira of Rosario Central, and 2 limited goalkeepers. If you want to stick around to the end of the video, we'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now, Edin Terzic first became the Borussia Dortmund manager like December 2021 or something like that. It was like midpoint of the season. Lucien Favre had just been shown the door after a succession of disappointments from his end, and Terzic had very low expectations but very quickly galvanised the changing room and really got them pushing in the one direction and really unleashed the talent in the squad. And thanks to our friends at Sorare Data, we were able to actually look at every single lineup this guy played, how the players actually scored and what their strengths and weaknesses were. Now, one thing I did notice throughout this, as I did my first kind of pass on it, is this Mathieu Morey does feature quite a bit at right back, and he's been injured for a long time. He's been in the B team and stuff, so TBC on him. Jadon Sancho is obviously no longer at the club, same as like Axel Witsel, he's just signed for Atletico Madrid. Rafael Guerreiro is expected to leave, and obviously, you know, with the Hummels and Burke kind of situation with them as well. So this is the first team, and what I've noticed going through this is there's been a lot of 4-2-3-1, and it's been mainly Bellingham and Witsel sitting in here. This is in a win against Leipzig 3-1, and this is, as you can see, 9th of January. So this is after the winter break in Germany, and after he's had some sort of time to actually, you know, get on the training ground with the team and have most people fit and available. It doesn't look like Jude Bellingham is available, but again, we can see that 4-2-3-1. Marco Reus in the number 10 position with Jadon Sancho outright creating and scoring, and then Haaland up top knocking the goals away. So this kind of shape has borne a lot of fruit for him. And then when the fixture started to get on top of each other, as you can see in this game here, was a 2-1 loss to Leverkusen, and in this 4-2 loss to Gladbach, he stayed true with the same kind of characters, the same kind of shape and tactics and whatever. He's not chopping and changing every game regardless of the results. And then once the team got into that kind of February-March period, so once the manager had been in charge for around 2 to 3 months, we start to see some really good results. This 3-2 win here away in the Champions League to Sevilla, for example. The shape is a little bit different as it's presented to us here, but as you can see with the recurring characters, it's basically the same kind of shape. It's been a wee bit more conservative in midfield with that 3 line there, with the 3 up front that we would normally see with like a 3-4-2-1, which is a shape that the manager actually kind of rolled out through points of the season. The very next match is a 4-0 win to Schalke, who is it's their derby, it's their neighbour. They also got relegated, so they were pretty poor this year. Hits was in goals on this occasion, but again, same recurring shape, same kind of themes of characters. You know, even though it's Delaney in here, what Delaney offers you can be quite similar on a lower scale, of course, to Bellingham, and then De Hood sitting in here. And then in this 4-0 loss with Schalke, again, it's the same recurring themes we're seeing. Fullbacks that are dominant in the victories that they're getting, and then Jadon Sancho, Reus, these types of guys assisting and scoring and feeding the main striker up there. And as the team has been getting stronger throughout this period, the bench has been getting used more widely, and we're seeing a lot of these guys like Reina, Mukuoko start to get minutes as well. And then we've got a 4-2 loss to Bayern 2 games later, and this is when we start to see the evolution of the shape itself. I do believe this is maybe a wee bit more of a restriction on fitness on centre mids. Julian Brandt only getting 30 minutes, Bellingham only getting 20, and it's maybe a wee bit of a tactical thing away to Bayern Munich, going free at the back. But as formations and possession changes, the fullbacks drop in, Emre Can comes into midfield, and it's kind of the same shape that we've seen already. But this is just a defensive block attempt when they're away to what's going to be a dominant team in a very tough encounter. It didn't really work out for them, unfortunately. But we do see this kind of evolution of the shape as well, where he will try free at the back with those two centre mids, and then just basically forgetting the number 10 role in favour of having the extra defender there. This is the very next match against Seville, 2-2 in the Champions League, and they end up progressing to face Man City in the following round. But again, it's the same kind of shape again of just maybe favoured having an extra midfielder in there rather than an extra defender versus the previous game with Bayern Munich. And equally in some of the other games where they're feeling more offensive, that player can be interchanged into a number 10. So it's just basically that one spot in the team that changes depending on whether the manager is going to defend, play possession and try and control the match, or out and out attack. So what does all that tell us about Borussia Dortmund at the moment? Obviously Jadon Sancho departed from Man United as Terzic went out and Marco Rose came in. Edin Terzic, it must be said as well, won the DFB Polka Cup, won the German Cup with them in a short time. So the players that are still there, there's a real core of them, guys like Bellingham, Brandt, Royce. There's some other guys that might stay or go. But the new signings that have came in, Seb Haller is an archetype, is much of a dead ringer for Erling Haaland as you're going to find in world football, period. And every kind of positive performance and whatever we've seen there, yeah, there's more to football than just the statistics and what hits on the stats sheet at the end of the game. But Haaland is only getting 1 and 2 goals in some of these games, and it's the other players around him, like Sancho, like Marco Reus, that are contributing as well. And it's that link-up play and it's that attacking team effort. We even see Rafael Guerreiro and some of the other defenders getting in amongst it as well in some of the really high-tempo, high-scoring games. So I think Seb Haller is going to carry the water that, for the largest part, that Haaland carried last season, especially in the league. He is a proven Bundesliga striker that cannot be forgotten at this stage. And Karim Adeyemi is finally the replacement for me for Sancho. They didn't really replace him last year. There was no real attempt at that. Obviously, Gio Reyna's been in and out with injury, and Marco Reus's form, he got some real good veins last year, but it never really kicked on. But it does feel he's ready for a good team operating around him, and Marco Reus can really become Rolls Royce again, and he can start banging in all sorts of goals. With the signings of it, so the defence last season was the biggest problem. They've replaced the outgoing stars for me. Haaland out, Haller in. On paper, as I say, you just can't get much more of a dead ringer. And Adeyemi and Sancho equally. I don't think you can expect any less production in the Bundesliga from Adeyemi under Terzic than what you had with Jadon Sancho. So that brings us to the problems, which has been the defence. Hummels isn't around, he's obviously aged as well in the meantime. Akanji was pretty rotten, and he's been a bit of a bad apple in that. He's been dying to transfer from three windows at least at this point. Zagadou was rotten last year, Munayer was injured a lot, right back is an issue. Niklas Sule and Nico Schlotterbeck coming in as a defensive pair, along with Salih Ozcan as a midfielder that sit next to Bellingham. When we're looking at all those 4-2-3-1s, I see it being Ozcan and Bellingham, and in those shapes where it is like a 4-3-3, Ozcan, Bellingham and Brandt perhaps. But I think that lower block is just such a huge upgrade on what they had last season, and the first question will be, yeah, there's a bit of bedding in period, it's a new partnership, whatever, but they're both domestic transfers, they're both tactically astute. Niklas Sule at his previous club, Bayern Munich and Hoffenheim before that, is a tactically sound defender. He's played right back. When you see the side, the guy is a mountain. He can play right back. Fair enough, it's Bayern Munich and whatever, but even at Hoffenheim in that back three situation, Sule is a very clever elite centre back, and Nico Schlotterbeck is the up and coming German centre back. Again, these guys have similar attributes, and when they're both coming in, I think it's awkward for bedding in for a defender when, let's say Niklas Sule signs and Hummels and Akanji were a rock solid partnership. That situation can be difficult because you've got two players with an established partnership and you're trying to move one of them on through age, or maybe one's too good for you and they're going to get swallowed up by a bigger team, and that can be difficult. But I think when they're both brand new, it's actually got the potential to be a smoother transition because they're both coming into a new environment, they're both having to learn the system and whatever, and they're both starting from the same position, so they should be on par, in my mind anyway. That is a likely possibility. Remy Bensebaini has been heavily linked from Mönchengladbach. It feels like since the emergence of David Raum for the German national team, the Borussia Dortmund are maybe sniffing around him as well, and they're trying to weigh up their options. If they can maybe pay, I don't know, I'm just going to make up numbers, 12 million euros for Rom versus 6 million for Ben Sebaini. I think they would pay the money for Rom to get him in, because Rafael Guerreiro has been told he can find a new club, and wherever he does end up, especially if he does go to like Ligue 1 France or something, he could be an elite defender. But I think the manager's going to want that type of left back. Ben Sebaini can do that in the Bundesliga, no problem at all. And with David Rom, he could definitely do it as well. But it's just if a bigger team will come in for him. I don't see him staying at Hoffenheim with the interest that's around him, but I think he would suit this Dortmund team no end. The only question mark that really does leave us is some outgoings maybe. You know, Witzel's left, Hazard might leave, Guerreiro might leave, as we mentioned. But really right back, you know, is this Mori guy going to come back from injury and come in? Is Munayer going to be the favourite? He's not really that old, Munayer, and I think he's an absolute weapon of a fullback. He's a dangerous fullback. Very big, strong, imposing, top-end performer. But maybe the manager brings in someone else, you know. But I think Borussia Dortmund this year will probably be Bayern Munich's closest competitor in the league, based on everything I've explained in this video, my point of view on things at this moment in time. I like Leipzig a lot. I'd call myself a Leipzig fan at this point. Signing Nkunku on today guarantees he's not going to leave in this window, basically. And I think that does strengthen their position. But I just think Borussia Dortmund have got just more... I think they've got a better best 11. I think Leipzig have got a better squad, but I think if Dortmund can keep that best 11 ticking over, then I think they could, you know, it will come down to the classicers in terms of who wins the league potentially. Let me know your thoughts on Borussia Dortmund for this season. Who do you think is any remaining transfers that might come in? What do you think about Daniel Malin? Where would he fit into this equation as well? Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and retweet and all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Let's get into all the giveaway stuff before I let you go. I'm still doing monthly giveaways and I'm making it easier to enter. If you want to be entered to win this month's prize or any future giveaways here at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button, you need to be a subscriber to enter, then leave a comment down below. Each month, a random comment from a random video will be selected as the winner, so the more videos you leave a comment on, the better the chance you've got of winning any of my giveaways. All the winners are announced at the end of videos the same way as we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. As always guys, if you've enjoyed the video today, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. On screen now is some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.